60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former
part to me is it has nothing to do with the team. They just got hurt. I mean, Parsons is out, and I think the other players, Zach Tom, Christian Watson, and Williams, I think all of them will be out for the Chicago game. I think they're going to try to tell us all week, say nothing, and make you believe because they want the Bears to believe that they could all play. And this is about nothing other than injuries, and that is the saddest thing to me in all about sports. I can't imagine how it would feel if you were a phenomenal athlete and you just get hurt. It's over. Nothing you can do. It's part of it. If they tell me if Watson plays, I will have a completely different view of the game. I present that just so that Bryan Bulaga has some idea of where my head is at, because I'm just really sad. And then I get really, really sad when people blame anything, any coach or player, for the game. And because they'd have lost to Denver and everybody was healthy, I'd be like, let's roll. Wouldn't have felt anything different about the team. So now that Bryan Bulaga knows where my head is at, he can take over and say whatever he wants. What do you want to say? What's the first thing you want to say? Not for fans, but because it's what you believe. This is so good. Now we heard you. I couldn't hear you until right now.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Take 2 for Bryan Bulaga.
Okay, so, I mean, for me, like, taking my fan perspective out of it, too, because that's what I am now as well, and looking at it from the player point of view now, how they're going to deal with this, it's a tough road ahead. And they know that in there too. They absolutely know that. The coaches know that. Because if we'll just hit on Micah just to begin with, because obviously that's the big one, right? And you can't replace that production. And I mean, you talk about sacks and things like that. I'm just talking about. I mean, we could just look at straight quarterback pressures. Right, and what he does to quarterbacks and speeds up their time clock and things like that. Like, you're just not going to be able to replace those things. And if you're going to try to replace those things, that means you're going to have to bring pressure. You're going to have to bring 5 or 6, and then that leaves you exposed in the secondary. And we kind of saw how things changed once he left the game from a passing standpoint, right? Like, once he left, Denver felt very, 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 very comfortable winging it around. They felt very comfortable putting the ball in Nick's hands and just letting him sit back there and throw it. It's nothing is impossible about how far they can go. I will say that nothing is impossible.
Can I just interject one thing?
Sure.
When you say nothing is impossible, that tells me how bad it is. Like when you were on your prime with Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty certain Bryan Bulaga never said before a game, nothing's impossible. Oh, all right. That's all.
Well, you lose. I mean, let me,
You would have said that to realizing that you can always lose to anybody, even when you're really good, which happened in 2011. But anyway, back. Sorry.
Yeah, you could do that. That's certainly, you could have Micah and still lose.
Yeah.
But it's just going to take an absolute colossal effort to get this thing moving in the right direction, right? Like, and again, you said it. If they lose to Denver and everyone walks out healthy, it's like, okay, well, they lost by a score, sloppy at times and here and there, but you know what? Whatever. We're on to Chicago, but when you take away that main part, right, and he does more than just what the defense he obviously inspires confidence in the offense as well, right? When you have that type of player on the other side of the ball and what his impact is, it inspires the rest of the group. And when someone like that goes down, it's hard to rally that, to get some momentum back and feel positive about going forward. Like when Aaron got hurt and the collarbone and stuff, you want to support the guy coming in for him as much as possible, but you understand what's about to happen, right? Like it will not be the same. It can't be the same because that type of player is not stepping into that role. This isn't like, oh, you lost an offensive lineman and now you got to back up in and, maybe we can scheme around that. That's not the case. This is completely different. This is your superstar. This is one of the biggest superstars in the league. And it's going to be very difficult to get that defense to look the same without him there. It just will not be very easy to get that type of production from the defense without him putting his hand in the dirt.
Okay. Well, actually, I have one thing which should make people feel the most positive about the defense, and that is that last year the Packers defensively and points given up were ranked 6th. This year they are currently ranked 8th. So anybody who's watched the team understands the benefit of Micah Parsons, but they actually were better at giving up fewer points last year than this year. So that's and no one wants to go there for the final 3 games. I wanted to ask you about yesterday's offense because I thought the offense was spectacular. The only possible problem was the red zone not getting 5 straight touchdowns, but they score on 5 for 8 possessions. And then Christian Watson goes out, and I swear, from everybody being open, no one was open. And yes, there was a pass rush, but I thought it was a pass rush which he always released the ball before that time back when they had Christian Watson playing. But I want to know what you saw and if you were surprised how everything changed and was so much worse after he left, or was it, I guess the other option is the offensive line just got bad, but Denver's got a very good defense, and the Packers whooped them for the first half and first possession of the second half.
Yeah, no, once a guy like that leaves the game, now attention can focus elsewhere, right? You're not
Does it
so
that much?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because now who you're focused on isn't there anymore, and you can shift your focus and attention elsewhere, and you can be a little more schematic with things and mix things up and disguise coverages and do different things. Like there's different approaches when a main guy goes down, right? And Green Bay for the first half of that game looked phenomenal. I mean, they look great. I mean, you can't say anything bad about it. I mean, they were protecting good, I thought. Jacobs looked phenomenal as he usually does. Played phenomenally. And that first half of that game, you said it, like they put those touchdowns in. I mean, we're talking a completely different game, but it was like penalty after penalty, and then they're backing themselves up and doing kind of goofy things to hurt themselves against that defense, and you're not going to catch a break with them, right? You give them something, and they're gonna capitalize on it, and that's kind of how that first half went when they had to kick field goals. But
yes, for not getting touchdowns. They self-inflicted, or they may have certainly had more than the touchdown, 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals.
Yeah. So when he leaves the game, when he does, yeah, I mean, it Denver's able to tighten up on certain things, and they don't have to worry about the element of Christian Watson and what he can do to a defense. They don't have to worry about that, and that's a big deal. So his return next week is going to be very interesting if he's able to play, because if he's not, I'm not saying Chicago's defense is anywhere near Denver's, because we all know it's not. Yeah, they get a lot of takeaways and they intercept the ball, but it's not Denver's defense. But again, it makes things more difficult for everyone else. It just does, right? More attention is able to get spread on different guys. And listen, like, Christian Watson's playing at a certain level right now, and you remove that piece from the puzzle, and there's production missing, and he pulls coverage a certain way, and he takes their best player and he draws them away from everyone else, and that's what a guy like that does. So it's kind of the same situation where obviously he's not going to be down for the year like Micah, but like, you're hoping it's not long, right? You're hoping he can come back this week. I don't know the severity or what exactly was wrong. They were saying chest, and then I read something today that was shoulder. I don't really know what the deal is, but you hope that he can play, because he does so much for that offense. And when you remove him, things tighten up, and that's just the nature of it.
And it just gotten better. He was catching passes on various different plays,
Yep.
Not just go long and we'll throw it to you. It's crossing everything.
Yep, full package, and that's, again, when guys like that are able to kind of give you all those elements in the pass game. They can run across the middle. They can run out routes. They can go obviously deep like he can and run past guys. It makes defenses way more cognizant on the back end of what type of coverages they can play, how they can disguise, because if guys get caught disguising and they don't get back to their assignment fast enough, there could be holes wide open in the defense that a guy like Christian Watson will just expose immediately. He'll get into that space some way, somehow, and you're beat. So you remove that, and yeah, things tighten up. And that's kind of what we saw. And regarding the offensive line, we saw it started to turn when it became, we have to throw the ball every down. That's when, to me, it started to turn a little bit, right? When we don't really believe that you're going to run the ball. Like, that's not really what we're concerned about right now, because you're not going to run the ball. But we know you're going to throw it. And when you allow pass rushers like that to just pin their ears back on the road and just go and go and go, there's going to be issues, right? Like, that's just, it's inevitable. It could be the best offensive line. It could be the best one. And you're still going to see issues when you're put in that situation. You want to be as balanced as possible. And late in that game, there was no option for that. Now, you have to be able to block one-on-one, but when you're asked to do it against those caliber of guys that many time in a quarter or in a situation, and someone's going to get beat. And unfortunately, we kind of saw that towards the end of the game. Jordan Love didn't have much time to get done what he needed to get done and scan the field and make accurate throws. And that's what it was.
That's what it was. We'll break. More from Bryan Bulaga to make you feel more positive than I make you. Yeah, my best line is, hey, the defense was better last year without Micah Parsons than this year with him. So that the fact that he is hurt shouldn't have any effect on the defense if all the guys just play the way they did last year before he showed up. It doesn't mean it's going to be better, but my point is it was pretty much at the same level. Last year, they were 6th in the regular season with points given up. This year, they're 8th. And now we're going to find out at the last season. Brian can think about this one. I don't care if they win or lose. I just care that people get healthy. I want to know that Watson's going to play again. I want to know that Zach Tom's going to play again. Yeah. And they probably all won't play this week. But if you tell me they're going to miss one game or two games, I'm fine. Because I think they can still make the playoffs. And that's all. Those guys are just too damn important. And I love this. You know, the backups got to step up. It's next man. No. Do you realize what crap that is? Now, coach has to say it, but everybody on the team, Bryan Bulaga, they know when the next guy steps up and it's not a problem, and they know when the next guy steps up and it's a huge problem. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't say it. But
no, you can't say it, but, like, you know the guys that they lost or that went down, like, who's filling that production? Yeah. Like, it's just obvious, right? Like, I mean, and it's not a knock anyone, but starters are starters for a reason.
Though I was going to ask you this and save it, but the most positive thing about that game, given all the injuries, was Golden. I thought he looked like, okay, he can't replace Christian Watson, and he's a rookie, so you can't expect too much, but he showed enough that he can limit the disaster. I mean, he showed what we wondered, why hasn't this been here all year? Well, I don't, you can't ask him to be Watson, but he has some skills that could fill that role a little bit against the Bears. I want to get your answer to that when we come back, because I think that, in addition to I just want the guys back, it's how much can Golden substitute for Watson? Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 43, we are seeing backups from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. A little bit more slow from Oklahoma Avenue heading down towards Howard Avenue. Northbound is slowing down over the high-rise bridge all the way up to Locust. Westbound on 94, watch for delays from 20th Street all the way to Hawley Road, with the eastbound side hitting the brakes from 84th Street to about Hawley Road. And we have a crash on the off-ramp to Loomis from westbound 894. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 14. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 36. Weather is brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. Easy and affordable apparel personalization with no minimums and fast turnaround. For all your printing needs, bigfrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
On this show, it's always football season.
So now Jeff Hafley's going to have to get more creative. Everybody will have to bow up and do things. And the main guy is Jordan Love.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This went from a defensive-led team to now Jordan Love. Put him on your back. You're going to have to get the cape out.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A father faces homelessness. A mother is hospitalized, and there's no one to watch their children. La Causa Crisis Nursery and Respite Center is the only free 24/7 crisis nursery in Milwaukee. It's a safe and nurturing place for children aged 0 to 12 to stay while their parents work to regain stability and strength. Your generosity keeps La Causa's doors open and provides meals, classroom resources, mental health support, and more. Every child deserves the chance to dream, grow, and thrive. Make a difference by donating today at lacausa.org.
The holidays are full of moments worth saving. Family dinners, cozy nights, holiday parties that last all night, and Carbless makes every one of them better. Crisp, refreshing, and full of flavor, 0 sugars, 0 carbs, and only 100 calories and gluten-free. Carbless is the gift that keeps on giving. A guilt-free cocktail that never compromises on taste, turning every sip into a little celebration. This season, bring bliss to every holiday moment with Carbless. Full of flavor, no compromise.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
A lot has changed in terms of the Green Bay Packers championship aspirations over the course of the last 48 hours. As Monday, it was officially confirmed that star edge rusher Micah Parsons tore his ACL in Sunday's loss to the Denver Broncos. Chris Canty of ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike says now it's up to their star quarterback.
This is an opportunity for Jordan Love to make a statement about who he is and what his tenure as a Green Bay Packers quarterback is going to be all about. Are you going to wilt when the pressure is at its greatest, or are you going to be able to come through like your predecessors?
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Every game tells a story.
Oh, you want the full story?
From big-time players
Jaden Reed, make the man miss.
To clutch drives.
Love going to throw a fade here in the corner. It is caught for the touchdown.
It's time to give you the three pillars that built it. Independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. Three Pillars Senior Living Communities provides top-ranked care and service in a beautiful lake country setting. Visit threepillars.org today.
Yes, it is the three pillars of the game. We'll get to Golden. I'm looking forward to what Bryan Bulaga has here.
Oh.
Injury, and injury. I don't know if we've ever had the pillars of the game, but like this game. So if you need any assistance, I'm here to back you up if you need a pillar. The three pillars of the game with Bryan Bulaga.
Well, I mean, I'm going to give this guy his due because he's playing through injury and he played great. And like the first pillar that I thought, at least gave Green Bay the best chance was Josh Jacobs. Played phenomenal.
Now we see how he runs when he has a hole. He's faster than you think. Yes. Right? Yeah.
Yes. He played great again, receiving, running. He did it all. He needs to stay as healthy as possible. They need to do everything to keep him as healthy as possible. I don't care if they put him in bubble wrap all week and then roll him out there on Sunday or Saturday in this case. Just keep him healthy because they are going to need him big time in these next 3 weeks. They need to control the ball, keep the defense off the field, and own the time of possession in these games. These fast strikes for the defense needs breaks now. They need breaks now. This is the time that Jacobs is going to be needed more than ever to run the ball and control the game.
And this is, I would only add, these are the things that always make me so sad because had the Packers won, we would have spent all the time talking about Jacobs.
Yes.
Everything that he did, from the catching. I mean, he never catches a touchdown pass, and I mean, you can look at his career stats, but he gets better and better, and he was always good, and I'm curious every time he talks because he seems to be not only a great player, but a great teammate.
Yeah, seems like he's loved in that locker room. And he always has a good message. He always had a good message.
And it's not a made-up good message. It's a a truthful message. Go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Josh Jacobs, you can give him two pillars if you want.
I can give him two.
Yes.
My second one, I'm going to just say, because we talked about it a little bit, I think it's golden and seeing something from him.
Yes.
Right? I think that's something that everyone wanted to see and they saw, and now with Watson up in the air, his status, him getting confidence is big. Because, again, he's going to be needed if Watson can't go this week. He's going to have to play a big role, a huge role. You're not going to be able to make up for Christian Watson. but you're going to have to eat away at some of that production. And seeing him catch the ball and get open and get targeted was good to see.
And he's the only one who has those skills, like Watson. I mean, Reed is. I mean, clearly the other receivers are a better player, but yeah. Pillar 1, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, number 2, and can Bryan Bulaga find a third pillar?
Well, the third pillar, and it's not a good pillar, but it's story of the game, and that's the injuries.
Yeah.
The injuries were the third pillar of this game that didn't stand tall for the Packers, and it got knocked down, unfortunately, and it was how banged up they got throughout the game is, I truly believe, is why they lost the game. From Zach Tom to Watson, then to Micah, Evan Williams. I mean, you lose that many stars against a team like Denver, it's not going to go well, and it didn't at the end. So that to me would be the third pillar of that ball game.
And that's the other thing that's forgotten. The Packers led 23-14 after one possession in the second half.
Yep.
And they got it in the second half because Denver won the ball at the beginning of the game, which was a little odd. Doesn't happen that often. And it's all gone because at that point you're thinking this team can do something special in the playoffs. It doesn't mean they will, but they belong in that group. This is a team that had won 10 in a row, and the Packers are putting a whooping on them. The Packers are controlling the game. They're great defense, and you didn't think Nix could play as well as he did over the course of the second half. But yes, our three pillars, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, and for the first time, and we hope the last time, injuries to the Green Bay Packers. We will have Rob Demovsky on in a second, and he can maybe give us the update. Dan in Lake Geneva, you're on with Bryan Bulaga, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Let her fly.
Before the break, you had mentioned that you think the Packers' defense without Parsons right now is the same as last year.
Last year was better than this year in terms of points given up. They were 6th in the league last year.
Right now, you think that they're okay. They're going to be okay because we didn't have them last year, right?
That's the most positive thing that you can think about. How's the defense going to go? Because mark my word, what?
We had Kenny Clark last year, too.
Excellent point. I don't know that anybody thought about the defense last year, how important Kenny Clark was. But, yes, this will be analyzed when the season is over. It's not going to be talked about now because no one would have ever thought that could happen. And that's just a fact.
Right.
And you got to come up with, they play, whatever you want to come with.
And didn't Wyatt come back last year as well?
I think so. I don't remember. But these are all good points. But no one would have thought that the defense would give up more points this year than last year. But they didn't probably appreciate how good the defense was last year.
Exactly. Just next man up, right?
Well, here's the thing. Listen.
I was a small-time tennis coach. We had injuries. I never used that phrase once. You know what you say to kids? You know what you say, and I think you say to players, we'll see if Bryan Bulaga. It's not next man up. It's like, you have a chance. You have a chance. You've been sitting out, and I know how much you want to play. Now's your chance. That talk?
Yeah.
Right. As the coach at Indiana said when they asked him about, do you think you can win when they played Ohio State? He said, of course I do. But he said then, but you got to earn it. You got to earn it. And I think that I love that phrase. But, yeah, that's isn't that what you hope, Brian? You know these guys, and everybody wants to play, and the coaches decided you're not good enough to play. All right, now you got a chance. I mean, this is awesome. Yeah, exactly. You get to play, and the next man up. Only one left. That's what it should be.
I love your optimism because, like, the next man up thing, it is so. I mean, it's used. I mean, if you were to poll all the coaches in the NFL and look at their what they say week in and week out, next man up is probably used every week. I mean, if I had to take a guess, I mean, and the unfortunate truth is, like, there's starters in the NFL for a reason, right? There's starters, and then there's the guys that back up the starters. And the unfortunate part is, like, you can maybe get away with it at some positions, right? Like you can have that mentality, and guys can earn their keep, and they can step
Mark
up.
Tauscher, a guy named Bryan Bulaga was next man up. You've lived it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I listen. I said in certain positions. I'm saying in certain positions. Yeah, in certain talent, but at the same point, like, we're not talking about like any guy. We're talking about Micah Parsons, and we're talking about if Christian Watson can play,
and Zach Tom,
the starting right tackle, who's very good too. So like, we're just not talking about a couple guys that like, oh yeah, they were already kind of fringe starters, but they can. These are main pieces to this machine here, right? And they're gonna coaches and the guys themselves, they're gonna have to find ways to protect the guys that are stepping in for them, and manufacture ways to make them productive. Because saying, hey, go out there and do the exact same thing, that's just that can't happen.
No, you just gotta get creative.
Yep, yeah. Exactly. 100%.
No, you hope guys can do it over a short period of time. Dan, thanks for the call, because Rob Demovsky with the latest, which is I won every day, and I'm convinced that they're going to let us think that all those other three players are going to play this week against Chicago, because then that's kind of an edge. The Bears have to practice like they're playing against Watson and Williams and Tom, but we'll see. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line for over 50 years. Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefits plans. From health insurance to customized coverage options, Saganiac Planning's experts made it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com or call Saganiac Planning, John Saganiac Jr. today to get started, 262-783-6161. Brian, I'll tell this story and make it really short. I went out for wrestling as a sophomore. I was probably the worst wrestler ever. There's a match, and I couldn't be varsity. It was JV. And they had the 105-pound wrestler. That's how light I was. He was hurt. There was nobody left. I'm standing right in front of the head coach. And he says, we need a JV 105. And he looked at me 3 times.
Oh, my gosh.
And still wouldn't mention my name. and then he was not next man up. True, you're wrestling at 105. As I get on the mat, you know what he said to me?
Get off the mat?
No, don't get pinned. don't get pinned. He didn't go with next man up. Just don't get pinned. It never entered his, and it was appropriate because I was that bad. You had to go in early in the morning to weigh in, and hell, I was 5 pounds underweight. And he goes, "True, you look like one of the Christians going to the Lions." And I didn't thought I looked that bad, but that's how I felt. So, yes, there sometimes people even know when they're not the next man up. They're the only man left. Rob Demovsky next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 43, we are seeing delays just right through the Marquette and over the high rise. You are kind of back on the brakes all the way down towards Chase. On the northbound side, backing up out of the Marquette all the way up towards Locust. Eastbound 94, slowing from 84th Street to Hawley Road. The westbound side is going to be slow pretty much from 20th Street to Hawley Road. And then off the freeway system, Highway 100 southbound at Grant Street, we have the right lane blocked with a crash. This is right near Lincoln Avenue, so just be extra careful if you're heading through that area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 14. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 36. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof siding and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Ho, ho, my back.
Santa?
Ho, ho, Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 12/31/2025.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Looking for the early gift for the basketball fan on your list? This holiday season, Fiserv Forum brings the heat with the Milwaukee Hoop Showdown. Friday, December 19th, the Wisconsin Badgers versus Villanova at 7 p.m. But first, UW Milwaukee takes on South Dakota State at 4. 2 big games, 1 electric night, all under one roof. Check off that holiday list and get your tickets now at FiservForum.com/showdown. The Badgers headline the action on Friday, December 19th, and you don't want to miss it. Visit FiservForum.com/showdown.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour now with Rob Demovsky, and that means I get to do nothing. Of course, Brian introduces because he's so nice. Though I want to do the up-to-the-minute update on the injuries, I believe the Packers are going to attempt to convince us that Williams and that Watson and that Tom are all going to play. Or they won't tell us they're not going to play, but maybe I'll be wrong. Take it away, Dr. of Football Bryan Bulaga.
Rob, good evening. How are you?
I just literally walked in the door about 10 minutes ago from a long day of travel home from Denver, while also trying to catch up on work. So, but I'm good. I'm better than a lot of those guys over there at 1265.
So let's just cut down to it, right, Rob? Obviously, Micah, ACL, I think obviously it's awful. In your opinion now, what is Green Bay going to have to do defensively to try to even get half of this production that Micah gave?
I do think there is a recipe and an avenue for them to be effective defensively, and I think it goes back, Brian, to a lot of what Jeff Hafley did last year with Edgerrin Cooper, with Evan Williams, with Xavier McKinney, more simulated pressures, more blitzes. Quay Walker was a part of that as well. Every one of those guys I mentioned is playing really good football this year. Now, is that because of Micah Parsons and it's made it easier for those guys? I guess we'll see. But, they've had some guys, we've bagged on Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness for being unproductive, and that I do believe that is true. But there's also those guys I mentioned have played really well and are going to have to play even better. I do think there is an avenue for them to, maybe not replicate what Micah did, but to be effective in a different way.
Yeah, I guess my only thing is we talk about sacks and things like that.
Yeah.
I guess my biggest thing is like the pressures and how he pressures the quarterback and how he speeds the timing up of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's hard to put a number on, and it's hard to replace that. It's kind of like where I'm getting at.
Yeah, you want to put a number on it. I don't know if you saw this stat, but this to me was incredible. So Micah Parsons leads the NFL with pressures. According to this is ESPN's, film review analytics, whatever, 64 pressures. The next closest guy on the Packers is Rashawn Gary with 28. That is a difference of 36 pressure difference. That is the largest discrepancy or disparity, whatever the word I'm looking for is, between the number one and number two on a single team in the NFL. Now, obviously, that speaks to Micah's high number, but it also speaks to the relative lack of pressures from other guys. But, I keep bringing up Xavier McKinney, and I was talking to him yesterday in the locker room about this, and a bunch of us were. Teams might now have more time to take shots down the field, which might allow Xavier McKinney to make more of those plays that he made last year. Remember all those interceptions? What was it, 8 or 9 interceptions last year? What does he have now? I think 2. Like, maybe there's more plays to be made because teams will have more time to throw. Not saying that it's a good thing that you want to give teams time to throw, because obviously the faster you make a quarterback throw, the less likely they are to hit on big plays. But if they are going to take more shots down the field, it does give McKinney and Evan Williams maybe more opportunities to make plays on the ball, which I believe both of those guys are very good at. I guess I'm trying to find, I'm trying to look at ways in which they can still be functional because, they're not canceling the season. The Packers are still in good position to win or to make the playoffs and possibly even win the division. And better than anybody, Brian, guys are really prideful. These are professional. You guys are professional athletes. They're not going to give up. Like, they're not going to mail it in. I realize the odds are against them, but you have to let it play out and see if they can actually make something. And look at the Super Bowl season. How many guys were on injured reserve that year? Like 18, 19, 20 guys. And I realize it wasn't Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you remember, though, a majority of those players, they had a replacement.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the only, Homer, it's a good point. The only 2 guys that I thought, was going to be really costly were Nick Barnett and Jermichael Finley, right? Those were the 2. You weren't losing your star players. But my point is, you can survive injuries. I don't know if they can survive many more, though.
Yeah. So speaking on that same term, what are we looking like for the rest of the guys? Williams, Tom, Watson, what have you heard about those guys?
Yeah, I talked to a couple people in Watson's camp today, and so I guess that's where I have probably my most information. And they were massively relieved that there was no, punctured lung, broken rib, thing like that, collarbone. Those were all the main concerns. When you take somebody to the hospital, you're worried about, a guy with a lung issue or coughing up blood or something like that, and those tests checked out okay. So I do think that there, is a really good chance that Christian Watson plays again, and maybe it's not this week. And I do think that they feel really good about that. Watson feels really good about that. And then Evan Williams, he said that he had a knee injury similar to this in college, and he missed a few weeks, but this one is nowhere near as bad, according to him. Now, that's just what he was feeling after the game. Zach Tom sure looked like he was in a lot of pain walking off the field. I did not get a chance to talk to him. But, Kennard played probably the best that I've seen him play in his time here this year. And, this is a guy who started in the league before. So, again, not ideal, but I don't think any of these are season enders or, are going to cost them, multiple games. But, this week on a quick turnaround could be difficult.
What do you, I guess, with the Zach Tom injury, is it like an MCL? Is it what's the deal? Like, do you know that?
Yeah,
I
don't, and I don't. And to be honest with Micah, and this is, I feel bad about this because he's an offensive lineman, which is a little bit lower on the priority list of guys after the game. And the big headlines are Micah Parsons and Christian Watson. So I did not get a great opportunity to talk to Zach afterwards, and haven't been able to find anybody in his camp today that knows anything. So I feel bad about that.
No, I listen. There's a main story. There's a main story. I get it. But going to a positive note, in your opinion, because in my opinion, he was unbelievable. How good was Josh Jacobs yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a guy who continues to show his toughness and playing through pain and being effective. Like, that pass, like, my eyes are getting bad, Brian. I'm old. Getting old, my glasses probably need a new prescription, and we're really high up in Denver. But when I saw that route and that catch, I thought it was Matthew Golden. You know, the single-digit number. I thought it was 0 when he caught it, and it was 8. That's how easy that Josh Jacobs made that very difficult catch look. He looked like a receiver, not a running back trying to catch those balls. And to me, like, that's really impressive. The amazing thing to me is that all the football that Josh Jacobs has played, that's only his second touchdown catch of his career. Like, he came here without ever having a touchdown catch in his Raider days. Had one last year, I think, against the Texans, and then this one. Like, they need to utilize him a little bit more on some of those types of plays, because he looked like really, really natural in that way. And I mean, they're going to have to ride him a little bit more. I do think, Matthew Golden maybe looked a little bit better than he has lately, so they have that going for him. If Jaden Reed can continue, now he hobbled off the field a little bit at the end, but after the game he seemed fine, so I don't know that there's major concern there. Like, they found a way to survive Tucker Kraft's injury, and if Watson's going to miss a game or two, I do think they have guys that can help them get through this.
What happened after he got hurt? The offense went from fantastic to horrible. No, I thought no one was open, and I don't, or the offensive line, but it's because Love had been getting the ball away so quickly to people, and then all of a sudden it went horrible. Is that an exaggeration, or was it the line? Was it like I said, nobody's open? What happened?
Yeah, it's a great question, Homer. I got to be honest with you. Once the injuries happened in the third quarter, I don't know that I saw any of the game. My head was in the computer. We have to write stories that get posted like instantly. And I had intended to rewatch the game on the flight today, but then I had to write Micah Parsons stories and Christian Watson's update again. So I have not had a chance. It's like, people at home sometimes have a better view than we do, because we're writing during the game. We have to file something as it happens and when multiple injuries happen. So I got to be honest, I didn't watch much of the game after Christian
I'm curious what you think after you see it. We've run out of time. Rob, thanks. I know you're really busy.
All right, guys.
Rob Demovsky. Window Nation end of the year sale. They have a 90% customer satisfaction, which is really important. That I like them is nice, but 90% customer satisfaction is more important. It's cold in Milwaukee, but it doesn't matter. They can still get it done. Why? Window Nation, as you know, I say it's not now. Right now. They can do it right now. End of the year sale. Get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years. They could be installed in 1 day. Yeah, right now. Lifetime warranty, A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out on big savings. And when you talk to them, you tell them, I was told I can get it done right now. Visit windownation.com to get started. More Bryan Bulaga next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I would just say that right now I think all options are on the table. I think that they went through that trade thing and they talked to teams, and it's not like those talks are shut down.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino, Tony Wendorf and Associates, and Smart 18 Union on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
As I reflect on the 2025 performance of the James Imaging Systems team, I'm inspired by their power of action, reliable follow-through, and ability to consistently connect with our clients. So thank you for helping our clients grow, profit, and thrive. In addition, I'm humbled by the trust our clients place in the James Imaging Systems expertise to help them succeed, now and in the years to come. As your local business technology partner, I extend my appreciation and gratitude for your ongoing loyalty. Looking forward, I feel that as individuals and as a community, if we display the power of positive action and authentically strive to find common ground, then our local communities will be stronger and our family connections will be secure and enduring. To everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
On the actual day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 12-pack of Lakefront, 11 Jims of Beaming, 10 Royals Crowning, 9 Johnny's Walking, 8 Wines of Sparkling, 7 Miller's Lighting, 6 Geese of Graying, 5 Chardonnays, 4 Spotted Cows, 3 Cabernets, 2 gift cards from just one trip to Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts. Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Thanks again to Rob Demovsky. Man, that traveling can be a total mess. We are on YouTube. Millions are not only listening but watching. Bryan Bulaga, did you see evidence of altitude affecting the Packers in Denver yesterday?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was a big issue. And I always notice whenever I played there, it never really affected me. I more got cotton mouth. Like my mouth got dried out. And I was constantly like chugging water every opportunity I could get it. I could never not get like my mouth not feeling like I just ate a bunch of cotton balls for some reason. But it was never really like I lost my breath or anything like that. That was never the issue. I had that side effect. Now, maybe some guys it affects that way, but it didn't seem like they had any problems from their wind or anything like that. They seemed fine.
All right, Bulaga, that's very personal. Do you think LaFleur had more tight end passes in the game plan before Wiley got hurt early?
Yes.
So
yes,
that could have made the loss of Christian Watson even more of an issue or not?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think when you're going against a defense like that and you have all your weapons out there, and then the way Jacobs was playing too, the middle of the field would be open for tight ends. It would be open naturally with all your wideouts, and then the way Jacobs was playing, the way he was catching the ball out of the backfield. So if he releases out wide, that pulls a linebacker out of there as well, and then you're running tight ends through the middle. It would have opened up the middle of the field much more. I just think that you lose him. I think he's their best blocking tight end as well. So then he goes down, and now it's like, okay, like.
Well, somebody even said with Tom out, will you maybe try to get 60-year-old Mercedes Lewis back? From a blocking standpoint, there's a shortage there, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And Mercedes wasn't even dressed out. I saw him standing on the sideline.
I mean, I think he's free to be taken, right? Didn't he? I don't know. Who's he with? Is he actually with Denver or somebody? I don't know.
Yeah, he's with Denver.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and all right. Ask Brian, much nicer. No one can ever stay healthy anymore. I'm tired of the NFL. And I ask not, there's kind of a question there, but you played it. Does it seem like it's more, and what would you do? Because I think the players play less football than they used to when you factor in practices and training camp. But I don't know. I don't listen well, but I'm going to listen to this.
Injury rates and things like that. I mean, so here's my opinion on that. Like, we saw a bunch of injuries yesterday. They're deep into the season at this point, right? Like, we always used to call, like, you need to build up the scar tissue in your body so that you're ready to go for the season, right? Like, you need to build that up. These guys are already past that. So now if you see injuries, it's just a freak thing, right? Like, it just...
But that's what I think people see. It's Michael ACL. Like you have Micah Parsons goes down. Nobody touched him. You had that with other injuries. You have it with an Achilles. I don't remember those things ever happening, or if they did, they were very rare. I could be wrong on that as well. Again, you played football for not as long as we think you could have, but is it correct? I mean, a knee injury, usually somebody hit you on the knee. We're there. ACLs like they are now, or Achilles.
I don't remember them as much.
Okay.
Like, I don't remember them as much as you get them now. Like, you see Mahomes and Parsons non-contact knee injuries, like, in the same day, which is just wild. Like, it's just wild. And I don't know I don't think you could put that down to they don't practice as much, but
I'm not putting down anything. I don't know what to think. And, I mean, clearly people study it. And others, Tausch was standing there too many games, and I said, fine. Then you play players less. Then you have to have load management. If I'm going to do whatever I can so that my players are ready for the postseason, and if there's that risk, then, and he didn't like that idea, and I'm not saying that's the idea, but I can understand how they've spent millions on studies to try to prevent this.
It's just some things are unpreventable.
All right,
and that's the best way to put it.
It's just so sad.
Yes, terrible.
All right, number one thing to beat the Bears is, you said, try to slow the game down a little bit.
Possess the ball. The ball. Keep the defense off the field. Give those guys a break, man. Give them a
Gary
break.
Ellerson, Greg Matzik, Potawatomi, next.
Southbound on 43 has cleared up.